Welcome to Point of View with Dr. Des. Rise above because you can. Why? Because the power lives on the inside of you. Today, I'm going to be talking about a rare and incurable cancer and blood disorder called multiple myeloma and AL amyloidosis. In 2018, I was diagnosed with this disease, and it was devastating. I couldn't believe it that I was diagnosed with that. It changed my life forever. You know how we always make plans and we plan things out and we think about what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. Well, I want you to think about these questions that I'm getting ready to ask you, because I thought about all of that before I got sick. And after I got sick, I had to think about things in a different way, but I had to plan it differently. And some of the questions that I had asked myself was, and you may have even asked, well, what am I going to do tomorrow? You know, you think about today, you're doing stuff, you're already thinking about what you have to do tomorrow. What are you going to do next week? What do I have to do next week? A lot of us have calendars, and we already have in our calendars what plans we have to do. I know I have a calendar, and I already know there's things that I have to do next week. How about next month? Maybe. We all have goals. We all have plans. As I was saying, I was already thinking about how many years I was going to remain on the job, because I had just went back into government employment, and all of that changed instantly. It changed, and I was not a happy person. Matter of fact, I was very depressed after a while because I couldn't work. I couldn't go back to work. And just imagine going to the doctor, and then a big boom come, and they say, I'm sorry to tell you, but you have a blood cancer and you have an incurable blood disease too. That is pretty tough to take. So I didn't know what multiple myeloma was, and I didn't know what AL amyloidosis was. So my purpose really here is just to enlighten you and to provide you understanding of someone like myself who was diagnosed with a rare disease. According to Johns Hopkins, 30 million people live in the United States, but only 10% of the population have a rare disease. That's what makes it rare, because it's a small percentage of the population. They also said for it to be considered rare, it only affects 200,000 people in the United States. So you figure if 30 million people live in the United States and only 200,000 people are affected with a rare disease, that is very, very low that you would be diagnosed with a rare disease. So let me tell you a little bit about what is multiple myeloma. It is a rare, incurable, and cancerous blood disease. It affects plasma cells, which are a kind of white blood cell found in the bone marrow. In multiple myeloma, these cells become cancerous and multiply uncontrollably. They can lead to a range of tissues, such as I mentioned, this can lead to a range of issues such as bone damage, blood problems, and kidney issues. I've heard people who even have multiple myeloma have to have surgery because their vertebrae in their spine fuse together, and they have to have surgery to get it corrected. So multiple myeloma basically affects the bones, there's different stages that someone can have multiple myeloma. It just depends, and they have different levels and different treatments, but it's a rare blood cancer. The next thing I want to talk about is what is AL amyloidosis. According to the Amyloidosis Foundation, it's incurable and rare blood disease. It's where abnormal proteins like amyloid light chains build up in the tissues and organs. These proteins are produced by plasma cells in the bone marrow. When they misfold, they interfere with the normal function of your organs like the heart, the kidney, the liver, and the nerves, any major organ in your body. And untreated amyloidosis can lead to life-threatening complications. So I say all of that to say is that amyloidosis, AL, because there's different ones, AL amyloidosis is a systematic disease. And your plasma cells, which misfold, and what it means to misfold, instead of your blood cells looking more round, they become sickle and look like a C. And so they're not normal. They're not normal compared to your other cells in your body. And so they multiply and they form like a chain. Once they form like a chain, you cannot loose the chain. And so when they don't have any place else to go inside your bone marrow, they go to your major organs. And what they do is they stay in your organs. They can suffocate your organs. And so this is why it's life-threatening. And if you don't get it treated in time, you can die. It's very life-threatening. So you have to have it treated. With AL amyloidosis and multiple myeloma, I went under chemo for 2 years, and then I had a stem. You can either be in remission or have partial remission, which means that some of it has gone away, but not all of it. So I just wanted to let you know what multiple myeloma is and what AL amyloidosis is, in the event that you may come across somebody in your community that has this type of disease. And this was just to enlighten you and provide you with a little understanding to someone who has been diagnosed with a disease such as myself. As I always say, what my motto is rise above because you can. Why? Because the power lives on the inside of you. You have a wonderful day.